are here today to talk to you about the virtual learning, e-learning piece that we are going to have for our students this year, K through 12. And Mr. Craig is going to tell us all about it. I'm excited to hear about the new program and see what's in store. So, first off, I'll let you just tell us what we're thinking.
Okay, well, we've shifted gears just a little bit because as of this morning, we are approximately 165 kids, grades K to 12, have chosen the virtual option, at least here to start the school year, out of our 1,700 students. So that puts that number is as a little bit bigger number than what we were looking for. It is in line with our surveys and kind of where we're at, but so you just need to prepare differently when you're looking at 170 kids than what you're looking at, maybe 50 kids or a couple per class and things like that. So that kind of that number really made us switch gears. So we're really looking at two different programs, a K to 5 program and then looking at a 6 to 12 program.
Okay.
So let's start with K to 5. And really this is coming about too because there's just not a grade level where you could say, well, just pull a teacher, and then they're going to be the virtual teacher. Well, we just don't have that. There's only really one grade level where that maybe even would be a possibility. It's 7 here, 9 here, maybe 3 in this one, and then 12. So I mean, it's just there's just too much. There's just too much fluidity and too much change. So what we have done is Monday night at the board meeting, we'll be approving not one but actually 2 virtual learning teachers. These teachers are licensed teachers. They're outstanding teachers. They have an expertise in online learning. We're really glad and very thankful that our board is willing to look at having 2 people to help and serve our families that are really choosing this option. So one of them will be geared 6 to 12 and one will be geared K to 5. And then, as you know, being an elementary teacher, we're really, as a superintendent, I'm just really concerned with the literacy piece. What does reading look like for our kindergartners, our first graders, our second graders? You can get caught up on your social studies and your science. Math's a little harder, but if you can't read, you're in trouble.
Right.
And so we're really focusing in on the literacy piece. What does that look like? And so that's why we really wanted to bring in someone with more of that elementary background to help with our elementary learners and then really focus in on the literacy piece. So what we'll have for K through 5 then is a curriculum that's already laid out, ready to go, online curriculum. Based on the grade level, based on your abilities, it allows, maybe there's a third grader that's really good at math, they can maybe do 4th grade, and it's really differentiated. There's several other districts in Indiana, it's aligned to Indiana standards, and then we'll have a teacher that will take on the K to 5 kids, and then we'll also have the literacy piece. So it's more of a prepackaged curriculum.
Awesome.
So it's fantastic. It's something that we did a lot of research on, and just because of the number of kids, we were able to take on the expense of buying this prepackaged versus having teachers have to really live in both worlds.
Yeah,
right.
We can all breathe a little bit better.
Yeah,
So thank you.
Yeah, that just wasn't, if you're talking 1 or 2 students, doable.
Right.
When you're talking 7 out of this class and 12, it just wasn't going to happen. So we wanted to take that off. Now, it's still an Oak Hill teacher, right? Still, they're a virtual Oak Hill licensed, Indian licensed teacher, and all of our kids will have access to our teachers. So if we needed help in math, if we needed help in English, or you needed help in science, they'll be able to facilitate to the online teacher, like maybe a study group or a study session and things like that to help get that done. So we still will have that component, but we're very excited to bring this on. I know that our teachers are relieved, and it's just because of the size of our numbers really kind of forced us to take a turn, and we're excited that we're going to bring this to our students. It's going to be new. The data is going to be very similar for parents like NWA. They're going to be able to see progress. And then when those students do come back to the classroom, if they decide to do that, and hopefully we get COVID turned around and we're ready to roll, it'll be very seamless, and the teachers will be able to know, okay, this is what they did, this is where they're at, their reading levels and things like that. So
Awesome.
feel really good about that process, K to 5. Grades 6 to 12, it's a different ballgame, and really what you're really looking at is 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then you're really looking at a 9 to 12, because 9 to 12 is all about credits. You know, it's about getting the right credits in the right classes. Again, we'll have this teacher. Again, all Oak Hill teachers will be there to help and assist. Really very thankful that our teachers union was like, hey, we still want to be able to do that. That was great. But 6, 7, and 8, you'll be taking your 4 content areas, and then we'll have like a health component, a physical activity component, and then we'll also have a reading component that we're going to add. So you'll have your math, English, science, and social studies, some type of physical activity, and then you have a reading component on there too. The reading component is not going to come prepackaged. That's something that we'll work with our reading teachers and with the online teacher to help put together in like a Google Classroom type of format. But you know, again, as a superintendent educator, literacy is extremely important.
Yeah.
And the best readers are the ones that read the most. And so we got to make sure that we're reading. So we're going to add that component in. And then for your 9 to 12, it really becomes a prepackaged algebra or English or whatever elective you want to take. So every class that's offered at Oak Hill, we're going to be able to offer. We feel really good about that. So again, when you get into the elective game, all of these classes are accredited. They count as credits just like everything else. I don't want to go as far as to say self-paced, but you can work with the online teacher to make sure that you're getting things done. It won't be, I'm zooming into a classroom. That's not something that we're going to be doing. It won't be, I have to meet because this time of the day, because what we're finding out is a lot of our families, the kids are staying home because they got to help take care of the younger kids, or there's a pre-existing condition. So they're not in a place that they can say, hey, at 10:30 every day I got to get on, and they're just not capable to do that.
Right.
Will there be Zooming and Google Meets? Sure, but it'll be through the online teacher, and then maybe with an Oak Hill teacher when they can all kind of coordinate that. And that's one of the big roles that online teacher is going to take on. So
Big coordinator type.
yes, more of that facilitator coordinator position. And so we're feeling really good about that. So you really kind of have 3 different programs: K to 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9 to 12. And we're really excited, and we're ready to, we get our teachers board approved Monday night, and they'll be in training ready to roll, and we'll be ready to go and start with those kids that have chosen the virtual option, just like the regular kids on August 6th.
Awesome, great. All right, well, I have a few questions for you, and some of them you kind of touched on, but I just want to go through and make sure. So,
Sure.
So will they be learning the exact same things as their classmates, since it is a different program?
Sure, I hope so, because it's all aligned with Indiana standards, right?
Okay.
So, yes, and they better be, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we know that the online version is based on the Indiana standards, and so we need to make sure that our teachers, which I know
Right.
they are. Now, it may not be at the same time, and it may be in a different way, but that's to where we'll have some coordination between the online program, the teacher, and the teachers in the classroom, because we do want everybody to come back to school at some point.
Right.
And so we want that transition to be as seamless as possible. So there's going to definitely be some growing pains in the beginning, but yes, it should be the same. You know, we're doing addition, we're doing math facts, we're doing the same things as we go through.
Is this going to be more parent-led, or are there going to be video instructors? How does that work?
No, it's very much video instruction. You'll have the online teacher to facilitate too and help you. I think too, it's going to be really based on kids' needs. I think at the younger level, you're going to have like Google Meets and Google Classrooms. I'm envisioning, you know, our online teachers. So, okay, kindergarten, we're meeting at this time, and so they can see their teacher and do kind of things like that. But then, you know, then there's going to be time on their own. But all the lessons come with videos and instructions. There certainly is a parent component to it, but it's
Right.
not like, okay, parents, go do this worksheet. That's not what it's the opposite of that.
Right.
So, the online teacher is going to meet, but there is also some individual work, but they'll be able to go back and see what's going on with that.
Okay. Let's see. You kind of said like they won't necessarily have to be on at an exact time. They're not going to be there 7:45 to 3
Right.
or whatever our new time is.
Yeah, I think there were, I do think that there'll be times when their class is Google Meeting virtually, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, so, but that'll be when everybody can meet with the online teacher, and maybe there has to be 2 times during the day where kindergarten meets, and 2 times first grade and second grade, and going forth. You know, the younger kids, as you know, have a different need than the
Right.
older kids. You know, as you get older, you're more independent, you can work through things, but we're still gonna meet with them as well, so. But it won't be like, I have to be on the computer at 10 o'clock to see my math class. That's not what it's gonna be.
Okay.
That is not on the table.
Okay, what about if a child has typically been in high ability classes? I mean, you kinda said like they'll get to possibly be able to move ahead if
Yeah.
that's where they tested and
Yeah.
they can kinda,
It's very much differentiated, and that's why I thought it was so important that we hire a licensed teacher. You know, that we're not just getting somebody to help oversee the online portion. This is a licensed teacher that's gonna get to know the kids, know their, you know, strengths, weaknesses. It works for special ed, it works for high ability, be able to provide the rigor, absolutely. So it works hand in hand with that.
I know when I was looking at it a little bit online, it looked like they did do some maybe online group work, cause you know, I would think that would be a piece that some of the kids at home are gonna miss is that socialization. And am I right in
Yeah,
how I read
absolutely.
that?
Yeah, absolutely. There's, you know, for online learning to be effective, they have to have that group, that idea of a common community and buy-in that, hey, we're in this together. And even though it's not sitting in a classroom, they're sitting in a virtual classroom.
Right,
So there will definitely be that group work and time to socialize online. And again, that's why you hire a licensed teacher, you hire a facilitator that really understands, hey, kids need this, they need that interaction, so absolutely.
yeah, and so and that teacher will be doing some of the grading and like
All
giving
of it.
feedback and all that?
They'll be doing all the grading, all the feedback. I imagine they're gonna have to get some collaboration with classroom teachers to help. I mean, it's pretty hard to say I'm doing grades K to 5,
Right.
right? So, you know, they're gonna have to get some help, and, you know, right now, we're looking at approximately K to 5 is like 65 to 70 kids, and high school's about the same, so, we're gonna need some help with that. A lot of the program kind of grades it as you go and lets you know, and then there's like, you know, summative, summative evaluations. That's what they'll be grading and getting back, but it's really standards basing. Right now, grades are really the last thing we're worried about. Learning, right?
Right.
Learning, making sure that you're getting your skills, and then of course too, literacy. That's our number one right now. Like, you know, let's make sure that when our kids come back, if they chose the virtual option, that we are really hammering literacy. Can they read, and are they reading at grade level? If we can get that, we'll figure out the rest.
Right.
We'll figure out the rest of it for sure.
Very good. So they should transfer back into the classroom pretty easily since we'll be doing the standards. Will we have more online teachers if we get more online students?
Yeah, what would happen at this point, you know, if our numbers just kept going, and right now we're about 200 short of registration, so I feel pretty good about where we're at. It would have to be pretty drastic to
Okay,
get more. I feel good that we've gone to 2. I don't see that, but if we had
huge surge.
a huge surge in a class, what I would probably do is take a classroom teacher out, and they would become and help, whether it's an elementary, or we might split up K1-2 to 3-4-5 or something if we had to do that. But
Yes.
I don't see that right now.
Will they have any books or anything like that? Will there actually be some?
Everything's
on paper?
online.
Okay.
Everything's online. Yeah, there might be a workbook or 2 that is part of what we've already have for the classroom, and that would be the online teacher bringing to it. But it's all pretty much online.
Okay,
It's part of the package.
and then if, say, the in-person students, we have to quarantine or anything like that, is that what they will do, or will we?
No.
Okay,
So this is a total different. So here again, we've kind of got phases, right? So K to 4. All right. If we had a situation where we had a positive COVID case, and we will, I'd love to say we wouldn't, but I think it will happen. K to 4, that class, because it's an all-inclusive class, right? Those kids K to 4, they're same teacher as their math or science and everything. That class, K to 4, will then be shut down, and they'll all be quarantined together. So then that teacher has their students, they've already established that relationship, they'll become
right,
their virtual teacher doing their virtual lessons. more similar to what the end of last year will look like, but only for over 14 days. You know,
Yeah.
We know that quarantine period is 14 days. That's what K-4 will look like. 5 to 12, if we were to have that situation, because there is some, I go here to math, I go here, we're starting to rotate. Then we go through the contact tracing, and then that's where teachers, let's say, well, we know this positive case, so we know this person is out for the quarantine period, and the health department would come in and say, all right, we know that they were in contact, these other people have to be quarantined too. That's when teachers are gonna have a couple, and that's where that e-learning becomes doable.
Yes.
When you have that situation, it'd be like having a kid out sick with strep throat, or, you
Right.
you make it happen. That seems to be manageable, and that's what will
Right.
happen for grades 5 through 12. When we have a kid that shows up positive, or we have a situation. But again, the beauty of everything that we're doing is, we're making buses separate. We're really making our contact tracing is going to be, I don't want to say easy, but very fluid to find out, okay, this is where the kid was, this is where they sat, this is where they went, and then these are the people that are affected, so that we can get that to the health department, which then means the health department can give us the okay to come back sooner than
Right.
later if we couldn't do that. So it puts Oak Hill at a huge advantage.
Yes, great. Well, I think those are the questions I have for the e-learning, and you explained it well, so
All right,
sounds great.
Very
Get
good.
registered. Thanks.
Get registered.
Yes.